Happy day, and welcome to the Sheila C Hill Show. And that C stands, come on in this room and have a sit down so we can chit chat just for a little while. Yes, I am Sheila C Hill, and welcome because this show is the ultimate go-to podcast for ambitious individuals who want to live a more fulfilling life and be more successful and get valuable insights and expert tips and inspiring stories to help you improve your lifestyle, grow your business, and enhance your emotional well-being. I am your host, Sheila C Hill, and if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I want you to welcome yourself and just be a part of the thrivers. That's what I call, people who watch the show on a regular basis. That's Sheila's Thrive Tribe, baby. So you can become a part of the thrivers when you subscribe. And I just want to say to all my new people listening today, hello, bonjour, como esta, ni hao, howdy, and what's going on? Listen, hit that follow and I bring the best guest, and today is not going to disappoint. Is a woman of God, a storyteller, a podcaster. Listen, she is an entrepreneur. Her vision is to transform every dreamer into a doer, to pull out the greatest that resides already inside of them. That is a major task. And I am so glad to have her. I'm going to bring her to the stage. At this time, we're going to introduce Miss Icelynn Hamilton. Come on to the stage.
Hi. I love that introduction.
Welcome. You're welcome. You hear my little clapping?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
So glad that you are here. I'm so excited to have you here. Listen, I'm going to turn it over to you because I want you to introduce yourself and just give a brief overview of your career journey. I know you do taxes, you do life insurance, and now you're a podcaster. Just give us an overview of yourself.
Absolutely. First off, I want to start off by just saying thank you for allowing me to be a guest on your show. My name is Icelynn, and I do have a podcast. It's called Icelynn Inspires. I empower dreamers to become doers by having transformative conversations. But before I did podcasts, I had a business, or I have a business, which is called Preferred Wealth Financial, in which I own a tax preparation. I absolutely love it. I got into that because I didn't have a choice. It was either go back to Kansas City, where I'm from, or make it work and become an entrepreneur. I also do life insurance. Life insurance is how I developed Preferred Wealth Financial. I was in MLM, and life insurance just helped me to be able to understand how to sell. It helped me to be able to understand that, hey, we need to ensure that our people are not out here asking for GoFundMes, asking people to help bury them. So I understood the importance, but I wasn't paying the bills at first. So I had to start taxes, and it changed my entire life.
Wow, that is amazing. Listen, so, okay, I see in general, what you just basically said is you're a go-getter, and you're just not going to take it laying down. You're going to fight for what you believe in, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
I've been
Most
like
definitely.
that since I was a kid.
So you did the life insurance. Okay, I feel you. That's awesome. So how did you so you did taxes first or life insurance first?
I did life insurance first, and then I started doing taxes after life insurance.
Oh, okay. So have you merged taxes and life insurance? Do they merge together at some point? Do you have like your clients that does taxes and be like, oh, by the way, do you have life insurance? Do you work that out as well?
Absolutely. So when you were filling out our intake form for taxes, we actually have a question on the questionnaire. And one of those questions is, do you have life insurance that is not a part of your job? So if they mark anything other than yes, then my team, we will call them. We'll make sure that they get some good life insurance. I don't care if it's term, I don't care if it's whole life. You need some life insurance, because one of my missions is to stop the GoFundMe's. I know that I can't cure it all, but I definitely can be a part of the solution. So me and my team, I have 12 people that's contracted with me, that work with me. One of us is gonna call, and we're gonna make sure that person is good. We're gonna make sure they got some life insurance. So I mean, I have to. I've had way too many family members that we had to bury, and we had to do GoFundMe's. It's almost embarrassing, but I just want to be a part of the solution.
That is great. That is great. That is so good to hear. So, can you tell us how crucial it is for people to have life insurance, and how a lot of people said, well, I can't afford it,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't afford not to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
how do they put that into their financial plan? Can you explain that process?
Absolutely. I think that people think that life insurance is like $100 something a month. I think they think it's such an unrealistic number. Let's talk about the things that people are already doing. You're already eating fast food. I'm pretty sure of it. You're already going to the movies. You already are ordering from Amazon. If you set aside $25, $30, it could be like a minimum coverage just to get you inside of the ground. You can afford it. And like you just said, I like what you just said. You said if you think you can't afford it, then you really can't afford not to. Because what that tells me is that you have a mindset that when you pass away, you're not responsible for that. Meaning that not only will your family members have to grieve, but they also have to worry about how they're going to feed you. They have to worry about, could you just like think about that? Can you just imagine grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, somebody is
Yeah.
dying, and hopefully that person don't have children. Because if they got children, then we got to worry about who's going to take care of the kids, especially if the father is not active in their life, which I pray that they are. But think about the burden you are putting on people when you don't have life insurance. I really personally feel like, and it's a big statement to say, I feel like it's a bit selfish to not care about how your loved ones is going to have to put you
Ooh,
into the
come on.
ground.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, that's the harsh reality.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you all are selfish if you do not have life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You have to put really much importance on it to help you and your family out, because
Mm-hmm.
listen, I feel you on the GoFundMe, honey. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, listen, we gotta make some fish plates. We gotta sell some
Yes.
fish plates and chicken plates and GoFundMe. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, no. But they
Mm-hmm.
was living the best life though. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
they had the
Mm-hmm.
latest Jordans on, they
Mm-hmm.
had the latest gear on,
Talk
but you don't
about
have no
it.
life insurance.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense.
And
Come
let's
on
just
now.
talk about something as
But
simple
it's
as our hair. Uh-oh. Let's talk about something as simple as our hair. Braids like this, they are not cheap. $200. $200. If
right.
you wear weave or wigs or whatever, that is not, especially if you like quality, that is not cheap. So when people tell me things like I can't
Yeah.
afford to, you can. You just have to sacrifice some part of your life, and it's not much of a sacrifice. It really is not.
Yeah, because you're not going to miss it. If you're paying $50 a month, you're not going to miss it. Once you
Mm-hmm.
have it set up and your mindset set up, you're not going to miss it. People just don't understand. And I'm so glad that you're taking that time to educate the community, educate people on
Mm-hmm.
how important it is, because everybody has to do taxes. So why
Mm-hmm.
don't you go ahead and slide in? Hey, I see on your intake sheet you don't have an
Mm-hmm.
insurance outside of your job, because what happens
Mm-hmm.
when you lose your job?
On my intake form, I like to put that on there, but it's also a quote that I like to say as well. And that's pretty much, we're gonna do two things in this life, and I'm sure y'all familiar with it. We gonna die and we gonna pay taxes. So get you some life insurance. And you try the rest. Come try the best now. Come try the best.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So what is like the misconception that people have with taxes? What is the
Mm,
misconception that you normally hear in the tax world?
absolutely. Now, it's funny because before I became a tax pro, I was one of those people. Like, it didn't make sense for me to pay someone to do my taxes, especially when we have all these free softwares, H&R Block, TurboTax, Jackson Hill. You can do your taxes for free. But one of the things you don't know is all the credits that you're missing out on. So that used to be me. I just refused to let someone do my tax. It just didn't make sense, right? But when I finally allowed someone to do my taxes and I saw that my tax return had went up by, I think it was $4,000 that year, they caught my attention. And I remember walking into the office and he was like, "Can I file your taxes?" I was there with a friend, definitely not for myself. And the guy said, "Can I do your taxes?" And I was like, "No, I do my own taxes." He started laughing. And he said, "Well, how much are you giving back?" I said, "I don't know. I haven't started the process yet." He said, "Okay, let's make a deal." I said, "Go ahead." He said, "If I can get you back more than what you can get yourself, you'll allow me to do your taxes." I'm like, "Okay, that's easy. That's easy." So I went home, I tried the software. He had already gave me his number and he was able to get me back like $4,000 more. And that changed my entire mindset. Like, people don't know what they don't know. It's a reason that tax firms are into business. It's a reason you see so many tax firms. And it's not just because we think it's cute. We know a little bit more than what you know because we studied this. This is what we do.
You have so many mom and pops, like, "Oh, come to my house, bring me your taxes. I'll do them for $50. So you're saying don't follow with them because it's other things. And yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
perfect. But you hear it every day.
Absolutely. Another thing that I like to say
I love it.
is just because someone is a mom and pops and you can go to their house and do it for $50, that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't know what they're doing. They could very well know what they're doing. And if they have history of learning software, learning the tax laws and regulations, I personally would let them. But when you do that and they don't sign something called an 8879, that means they take absolutely no responsibility. So let's say that they're putting, I don't know, that you babysit out your house. Guess who the IRS is going to come after? Because their signature is nowhere on that paper. And if you get audited, which they have 3 years to audit it, you're going to be looking real silly because they can't validate what they put on there because, well, it wasn't like a real office, anybody with a P10 or anything. So be careful.
Oh, clutch my pearls. Oh my goodness. That was major. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh. Listen, that got me pausing thinking like, uh-oh. And in 3 years to be audited. Now, I just recently heard that that the IRS have hired so many more people to auditors because of the PPP and everybody that's sort of trying to get this money for the government. So they're trying to get that money back.
Absolutely.
So that is like, what do you have to say to that?
Oh my gosh, that is a real thing. So remember, I just said 3 years, right? That was before. The IRS has actually extended the deadline. So now they have more than 3 years. Did you hear what I just said? They have more than 3 years to come and audit you. So something that was standard has now been pushed back. And anybody who falsified the PPP, people think because they got it forgiven, they think because they got it forgiven, they got good. Like, okay, well, I'm happy that I got mine forgiven. Like, think about it. You playing with the IRS. They know everything. Do you hear me? They know everything. They know your social. They know where you live. They know where your kids go to school. They know where you work. They know things you know before you even do it. You played with the wrong person. They are going to come. But what they did is they started with the big fish first. So just because you got $20,000, that's a lot of money for you. They going after people who got the millions, then the 6 figures, but the 20,000, they're coming. I actually worked very close with a tax attorney, and she was telling us they need to really have money to be able to repay back, because when they come knocking on your door, which they will, a lot of people gonna think that they forgot about it, but they gonna get a knock at their door or a letter, and when they come and you don't have that money and you got 10 days to pay them people back, I don't care if you got to put the house for sale, I don't care how you got it, but you better have their money, because believe me, they coming for it. You think they about to just let billions of dollars go? Think about that. You really think that? No. Oh, and another thing. So if you were receiving food stamps, if you were receiving any type of state assistance, welfare, but you applied for the PPP loan, saying you had your own small business, come on. You don't think that they could talk to each other? You don't think that they could find out how you're receiving food stamps, but you got a small business, but you qualify for? They coming. You just need to be ready. Have the money together.
Okay. Because I'm sure maybe someone is listening. I know they're not our regular thrivers, but maybe someone is listening because I know our people do what they're supposed to do. That's what I'm just trying to say. But what if someone is listening and they feel like they are in that category? What do they need to do to prepare? Tell them, what do they need to do to prepare for the IRS?
The really, like, and I say this in all honesty, the very best thing that you can do is truly start putting money to the side and be able to hide. Do not represent yourself. Do not take a public defender. And you know, a lot of people just won't have the money to pay for a good quality lawyer, but you need an amazing attorney to represent you. And I can connect you with an amazing attorney who is getting people off. However, they still have a payment plan to pay back with interest. But that's a felony that most people did. So the best thing you can do is set money aside within the next couple of years, or you can invest your money into a life insurance policy. I know some people have their disbeliefs or their antennas up about a whole life insurance, but if you take some of the money that you make and you invest it inside of a life insurance, it's occurring more than 0.1 interest that your bank is giving you. So you can literally put your money in an investment account, allow that to grow, and at least that'd be a little bit of cushion. But you definitely need money. So start a real business, a side business, and see if you can get that money back plus more.
Wow, that is so great. Thank you for all that advice. That's great gems and great warning, Icelynn. Because listen, I remember the height of the PPP. There was this person, they said that they had an art gallery, that was their business, and they literally took their kids' kindergarten drawing and put it on their walls in their house.
Come on.
They call that an art gallery. No. Oh my goodness. Oh, thanks for these gems. Listen, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about podcasting, your podcasting journey when we return after this commercial break. Because listen, she is really giving some. Are you feeling overwhelmed with projects to build your business? Search no more. Introducing Borrow My VA, a virtual assistant service, your one-stop solution to bid farewell to stress and manage multiple tasks with very little effort. We specialize in website building, funnel creation, automations, and email marketing, all under one roof. And here's the best part. We provide all these incredible services at budget-friendly rates. Discover a hassle-free way to handle your projects. No more worries about onboarding or finding that perfect virtual assistant. Our team is all set to tackle your task with efficiency. Now, once you delegate the task, consider it done. Say goodbye to overwhelm. Don't miss this fantastic opportunity to elevate your business. Join our list of satisfied customers and book a free consultation today at borrowmyva.com. That's borrowmyva.com. To borrowmyva.com for sponsoring this episode. Okay, before the commercial break, listen, we have Miss Icelynn Hamilton. She is here giving us so many gems about taxes and life insurance. Listen, listen to these gems that she's telling us, because we do not want to get in trouble with the IRS. If you have, make sure your books are in order. And if you do not have life insurance, please, you need life insurance. Reach out to her if you're in the location. We're gonna share all her information. But life insurance is very important. And as she mentioned earlier, if you don't have life insurance, you are selfish. You are selfish because you're leaving that burden on your family. And we do not want to have these GoFundMe any longer. No, we do not, because you need to know that you can put a little bit away aside and have your own life insurance. Okay, we're going to bring our special guest back. And listen, we're going to talk about podcasting, because listen, podcasting is not new, but it is really popular right now. So tell me, what is the name of your podcast and what's the major things that you talk about and you explore?
Absolutely. But before I start, Sheila, when I tell you you are doing your thing, you're doing your thing. Like you had the commercials pop up and start talking. I like that. Shout out to you. Okay. I was really impressed. I ain't gonna lie. So with
Thank
that
you.
commercial that was just sponsored, with that, go get that. You made me want to go buy that. Okay. So the name of my podcast is called Icelynn Inspires. And like I said earlier, I empower dreamers to become doers by having transformative conversations. I mean, every single bit of it. I absolutely love doing it. Some of the things we talk about is just become the best version of yourself. I actually interview amazing entrepreneurs. I interview people who I deem to have light, a lot of light, that they can share their light with the world, to my listeners. So that's what Icelynn Inspires is about. I'm actually still fairly new to this podcasting world. So yeah.
Well, I know you're killing it. But so what made you even decide to get into podcasting? Because I hear a lot of people now that I'm in podcasting, they're just saying, how do you do it? How did you start? What was the inspiration? What was the defining moment to say, do a podcast? What was you doing prior? Were you doing something similar to podcasting and you transferred over to that medium? Or you just like saw something that inspired you? Tell me that story.
Wow, Sheila, that's such a good question because nobody's ever asked me that before. Really, so I got my logo done almost 3 years ago, right? I named my show almost 3 years ago.
Oh.
And I had videos in my phone almost 3 years ago. And I remember recording some of the videos. And I almost thought it had to be perfect. I didn't even think about editing. So I would do the videos, and if I stuttered, I would start all over. It would take me 2 hours to make a 10-minute video because I wanted it to be perfect. I didn't think of editing. So it was really out of fear. I was scared. Like when I would go back and listen to my own voice, it'd be like, oh man, I sound silly, or I didn't use that word correct. I just really overthought the process. But I listen to podcasts every single day. And I know how podcasts help me get through the day. Podcast has changed my way of thinking. So not only did I go to counseling, but podcasts on a daily single basis. You see what I'm saying? On a daily single basis. If this was a podcast, I would have been like, oh, I messed up again. But podcasts on a daily, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but when you listen to that and you're listening to things that are transformative, you find your way thinking different. You find your way speaking different. You find your way seeing other people's views different. And I just didn't feel like, well, I knew I had it to give to the world, but I did question if I actually could. Before that, people knew me as the tax lady. Everybody knows me as the tax lady. So I also had self-doubt, like, well, if you do taxes and now you're trying to switch to podcast, who's going to take you serious? People, you're the tax lady. But the more books I read, the more podcasts I listened to, the more affirmations I said, I'm more than qualified to do this. I'm mad that I didn't start a long time ago because my show would be crazy right now, but I'm ready.
Come on. I'm more than qualified. Let me get my clapper.
That's right.
More than qualified. Yes, because baby, you know what? Sometimes we overthink the process so much, and you have a voice and you have something to share. If you're just living this life, you have experience, you have a voice. So I'm glad that you got over that fear and got over. We have to get over ourselves because baby, done is better than perfect because perfect never gets done. So at the end of the day, you're holding someone's life, you're holding someone's deliverance, you're holding someone's hope when you don't do it, when you're just waiting on we're just waiting to make it perfect when someone needs to hear that hope. They want to hear that you got through it. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you. And I'm so glad that you are now a podcaster and you're killing the game as well. Way to go. So how do you normally get your guests? Do you just put out a general call for your guests, or are you looking for a particular guest to your show?
So I feel like God gave me somewhat of an advantage, right? On Facebook, I have 7.5 thousand followers. And the thing is, that's not a lot of followers, but most of my followers are very engaging. People saw how I got my house built from the ground up. People saw how I was able to put my kids through private school. People see the Maserati that I just bought. Taxes has changed my life. So really for me, when I ask someone to come on my show, that knows me or saw the process, they are more than happy to come on my show, because it's like, oh my gosh, why do you want me? But one of the things I also had to do is for strangers who just kind of see a little bit, but they don't know me. I started going in their inboxes. I had my assistant help me, so she would kind of pick through certain people and say, hey, I think you'll like this person. And through that process, I did about maybe 10 to 15 interviews with strangers and some people that I knew. And man, I'm at a point now where I have to tell people, hey, right now we don't need any more guests. I appreciate you for asking, but when I need guests, I'll definitely reach back out. So God has been really good. Favor.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Listen, wait a minute. You built the house from scratch. You got the Maserati. Let me go sign up for some tax classes.
Yeah, I got really good with taxes.
That is so good. Congratulations. You know, a lot of times we just have this, and like you was saying earlier, you was like, you know, you was known as the tax lady. People put you in a box. And I want to tell anyone who's listening to this, kick that box right on down. You do not have to live in a box because you're doing one thing. Listen, I done did some of everything. You know, I worked for the airlines. I did cleaning business, Airbnb, whatever. I've done it, but I don't want to just be known as one particular thing, because that caps my gifts, right? But the more you have a gift and the more you activate it, the more you use it, the more it's going to flourish. So that's just those haters that may say, oh, you're doing too much. You all over the place. Baby, no, I'm not. I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do, and I'm making an impact. So what do you say to those people, those naysayers?
Oh, honestly, it ain't too much to say to them. I get them all the time. I get miscellaneous messages from fake pages to tell me I think I'm better than this person. I get family members. I get friends that's now distancing myself. I get them. What I have to say to them is absolutely nothing. I let my work speak for itself. I don't have to listen. Listen. The thing about Icelynn, let me go ahead and let you know something. The thing is, I know whose I am, and because I know whose I am, then I know that he literally fights my battles for me. So it's not too much to. I don't listen. The way I think, I don't go down. They have to come up. When they want to speak to me, you come up, because I will not go down with you. You're gonna have to meet me somewhere. So they not worth the energy. Like, when you decide and you get to pick who you give your energy to, that is powerful. So the moment I start addressing these naysayers, the moment I start giving my energy, I could be using this to create another podcast. Creative energy. I don't have go. Jesus had haters too. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
I love it. I love that energy. It's like, go somewhere.
Yes.
Woo! Okay. Oh my goodness. I love it, because there's so many people that have so much to say. At the end of the day, all they need to just say is, you inspire me, because that's what happens. People are jealous because you inspire them and you're doing something that they want to do. So, you know, they have the problem. It has nothing to do with you, in a sense. So they just have to get themselves right. But I see that you invest in yourself. You said you listen to podcasts, you have books.
Yes.
Talk about how important it is for people to invest in themselves.
Oh my gosh. I start young. Well, when I say that, I didn't start young as a child, but my children, my 3-year-old, I make sure that she gets read to. It's a reason my kids go to private school, because I understand that investing in a child early will pay off in the long run. See, the earlier you get them, the better it is. So what I would have to say to adults or people who just don't know where to start, if you don't like reading, listen to an Audible. And that doesn't require much, because I believe the first 30 days are free. Like, if you could turn off the radio, because whether you know it or not, it's feeding your subconscious. If you could turn off the radio and you could listen to an audible book because maybe you don't have time to read, it would change your entire life. If you believe that money is the problem, it's so many free resources. Listen to podcasts like this. Listen to not podcast. I'm not telling you what you can't listen to, but I am saying if you really want to grow, then you have to listen to transformative things that have meaningful meanings into it. But I will tell you, the thing that I love about books, it is something about a book. What they do is they take all of their knowledge, all of their wisdom, all of the time spent that took them years to learn and know, they put it inside of a book. So I believe that our people are afraid of books, and I don't really understand why or how. Maybe Jim Crow, I don't know. But I'm telling you, if you could just start reading, if you could start listening, but most of all, I ain't trying to get out here and preach, but most of all, if you could just have a relationship with God. Me personally, I am a Christian. But if you just had some type of higher power that could hold you accountable, and you could put trust into that higher power, wait, that is invested in yourself. That's the ultimate investment, because what good is money? Money is no good if you don't have peace, if you don't have joy, if you don't have happiness. But it's so funny because it all combines in one. And that's reading, that's wisdom, that's the people you hang around. Those are investments. When you hang around somebody who smoke weed and drink all the time, you are investing in yourself. It just ain't good, so it is free to invest in yourself, but it also takes money as well.
That is so true. I love it. Oh, you was preaching. Let me get the collection basket, because baby, we need to pass the basket.
Oh, Sheila.
I love it. I love it. Listen, everything that you said is so true. Listen, I just got this new book, just came yesterday. One of my friends was telling me about it. It's called The Circle Maker. The Circle Maker. I don't know the artist, the writer right now, but I just started reading it last night, and it's just like, I just want more. I just want to read more and more. But it's basically talking about praying. It's praying and asking God what you want and put it in that circle. So I cannot wait to get on the other side of that, to see the miracles that God's going to do for me. Based on just learning more and getting deeper in touch and experiencing God on a daily basis, on a practical manner as well.
I love that.
Listen, I really enjoyed you here today. Listen, I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners of any upcoming projects or anything that you may have for our listeners?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking that. You can follow me on every single platform, Icelynn_Inspires or Icelynn Inspires. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I am everywhere. Icelynn Inspires. Also, I like to say that I do have a tax class coming out. I ain't told nobody that, like, not officially, but I do have a tax class that's coming out. So if you are interested in knowing the laws legally, I like to put the emphasis on the legally. So if you're interested in becoming a tax pro, you can either work with my team, or I can train you to work by yourself. I think it's better if you work with the team, because you'll always have me for any difficult tax situations. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I'm more than qualified to do this. I train, again, I have 12 people that work for me. And then as far as life insurance, if you would like to sign up for some life insurance, or you know somebody, or I don't know, you have an uncle, and this uncle of yours is moving reckless, driving reckless, and you really care about that person, it really takes maybe $20 a month, so maybe that person is not responsible to put the life insurance onto themselves. You can put it on them. You certainly can, for $20 or less. Or I don't know, let's just get a quote. But that's all I have to say. Oh, last thing, one more thing. See, I thought I was done, but I wasn't. I also like to say this. It doesn't matter where you are in life, y'all. I have a crazy story. It does not matter. You can change your entire life. You can change your entire life, but you first got to want to change it. So you keep on doing it. If ain't nobody told you that they're proud of you, I want to let you know I'm proud of you for tuning in this long. This means that you invested into yourself today. So keep going. Proud of you. Thank you, Sheila. You are so amazing. Thank you for letting me come on the show. Like, thank you.
You're welcome, love. It was a pleasure. Listen, you was dropping some major gems. I saw your passion in there. It was just, and I saw that church in there too. I was like, oh, she about to preach right now. I love it. I love it. Thank you for, and we'll put all Icelynn's contact information, her social media. It will be in the show notes, so don't worry. You can contact with her. Thank you, Miss Icelynn. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Listen, I want you all to understand everything that you learned today, everything that you heard today. Please rake it in and take it in, but now don't just hold it for yourself. Tell people about it. Tell people how they can change their life by practically doing what we just went over today with life insurance, doing the taxes. And listen, also understanding that you have a voice. At the end of the day, listen, I want you all to understand that you are loved and you are highly appreciated. And don't dim your light no matter what. I want you to understand who you are, understand whose you are, and walk unapologetically in your purpose. Okay. So at the end of the day, it's time to go. Until next time on the Sheila C Hill Show, love, peace, and hair grease.